Welcome back to the Market Chef. Chef Ryan, thank you for coming down again today.
You're welcome, it's good to be back.
So what I've got for you today, Ryan, are some amazing heritage coloured carrots from Ormskirk, your neck of the woods, Lancashire, Royal Oak Farm, amazing organic growers. Ryan, tell me what you know a little bit about these carrots.
Well, the humble carrot to most, but to me, the mighty carrot, and I'm sure you share that as well. They're absolutely delicious. You know, everyone's concentrating at the beginning of the year on being healthy, carrot soups and all that kind of jazz, but you can celebrate them all year round. They've got so many different types, so many different types coming through the seasons. They're absolutely beautiful. Mineral packed, nutrient rich, absolutely delicious. Everyone from kids to adults love them. But these guys are filthy guys, are they? Why are they so dirty, Rob?
So what's so good about these? These only would have been picked, Ryan, at minimum 24 hours ago, which would have been hand picked, hand packed, hand delivered. They are, you do not get much freshness.
Shall we snap one open? Listen to that, that's fresh, isn't it? And you can see here as well, as a chef, when I open them up, you can see all that texture. It's like an iris of an eye almost.
You do not get a better crunch than that, Ryan.
I can smell. That smells absolutely incredible as well. The strength in that and the clarity is incredible.
These guys are amazing at what they do.
Well, it seems it.
What are you going to cook for me today then, Ryan?
Well, I'm going to go into a really, really nice dish. We're going to do a take on a classic. So we're going to do a carrot soup with some Middle Eastern flavors in there to really play on that sweetness with some nice sweet spice, lift it up, some coconut yogurt and some little jewels in the form of baby coriander and pomegranate.
Sounds amazing, Ryan. I can't wait. Let's get cooking.
Here we are, Market Chef, County Supplies. We're back in the studio and we're talking all things carrot. Not just for the winter, not just for January. No, we're creating a vegan dish. It's absolutely beautiful to be enjoyed with all different types of carrots throughout the year. The dish is going to be a carrot soup with some zaatar, pomegranate, coconut yogurt, teamed up with some beautiful spices to give you a delicious vegan meal full of nutrients. So as you can see here, we've got some beautiful ingredients in the form of these delicious carrots taking center stage. We've got some cumin, coriander, fennel. We have some lovely acidity coming from the coconut yogurt, lime and pomegranate. Then we have some rose harissa, zaatar, and some coconut oil. And finally, as you can see from these incredible ingredients, the array of color here, vegan food doesn't have to be boring. So let's get cooking. So we have these delicious carrots, and as you can see, me and Rob were talking about them before a little bit. You know, you snap them, you can see this beautiful, beautiful iris, almost like an eye, different layers of freshness, and it doesn't snap straight. That's a great sign that it's a healthy vegetable, literally out the ground. So that's proof of the freshness. And the smell, it kind of has a different smell than supermarket bought ones, and that's why I feel so lucky to be using these today. So, hard work done in true studio style. We've got a couple here already washed. We're going to start with a shallot. So let's make sure my heating is in a good place. So a nice medium heat. Now this soup is incredible for a couple of reasons. It's packed with nutrients, number one. Number two, you don't need any stock. So no salty stock cubes in there because the flavors and the spices and the sweetness are all going to complement each other and be very, very bold. So no need for stock. We're going to start off with some nice shallot. Now the shallot against the carrot adds savouriness, albeit nice and sweet as well. So a nice little rough cut. So into the pan we go. And we want to team that up with a little bit of coconut. Now the coconut oil, again, it just works with the spices really, really well. Nice high heat in there. And again, a little bit of toasting against the sweetness, a little bit of bitterness is perfect. So a nice high heat in there. Let's get that shallot softening up. And in the meantime, we're gonna prep these carrots. So really, really interesting point about the carrots is, I mean, everybody peels them. Why? Give them a really good scrub. As you can see, they used to look like this. Nice warm water, usually slightly soil sandy texture. So a little bit of lukewarm water comes off an absolute treat. Keep all of the skin on, especially with potatoes. Sometimes I use the skin in the water or cook them in the skin and peel them afterwards because that's really where all the flavour's at. So it's the same with carrots really. Pop them in there, you're just taking away about 10-15% of the flavour. So make sure all the dirt's off there. Get all that flavour in there, especially with it being the part that's been in contact with the soil where it gets all its lovely flavour from anyway. So pop those in there. Now, one thing that I really love about carrot soup is there's a little bit of stigma around it being a classic kind of grandma soup. You'll see with some of the flavours we've got here today, that can be squashed straight away. So, beautiful shallots in there, carrots. We're going to go in with some spices in the form of rose harissa. Now, it's a beautiful harissa. I make mine by taking equal amounts of mild chili, garlic, shallot and rose petals with some olive oil. And basically you roast them until they're nice and soft. Don't take them to charring or burn stage, and then just blitz it. And the garlic against the sweetness of the chili, add a tablespoon or two of paprika, a little bit of salt, and voila, that's what you get, harissa. So while these carrots are sweating down, I'm going to turn the heat up, really get that moving, and we'll get that harissa in there. And this is where I was talking about the stock and not needing it. You've got so much flavour in harissa. Middle Eastern, kind of Algerian, North African, you know, countries that really enjoy big, bold flavours. And that's going to add an absolutely incredible foundation to build this soup on. So, about a teaspoon of cumin. And this soup that we're making today, about 3 carrots and half a litre to 700 ml of water, should serve 2 large portions or 3 people. So we've got a teaspoon of coriander in there, a teaspoon of cumin, a pinch of fennel seeds, that goes in, a pinch of salt, a pinch of pepper, some extra olive oil as well. This adds a nice freshness and grassiness. So you've got about 2 tablespoons in there, and that's it. We're going to leave the soup now to just kind of cook out those spices. When I say cook out spices, the main aim of the spices is to bring them alive a little bit, not to burn them, not to char them. And you know when they've come alive again. Most spices have been sat for months in storage, and they've got natural oils in there. So you're rehydrating them, bringing those oils to life. And that's going to shine right through the soup at the end and give you maximum flavour. So nice and toasted, only takes about 30 seconds or a minute. Move them around whilst doing so. And then in with some water. Now it depends how you cut your carrots. You can leave them nice and chunky, or you can cut them down. It's just more work really. It'll take a little bit longer to cut them if they're bigger like this. I probably put about 700 ml of water in there. And then we want to turn the heat up nice and full. And we're going to let that simmer until nice and tender, about 35, 40 minutes, let all those flavours come together, at which point we're going to give it a good blitz. In a NutriBullet, a blender, whatever you've got, the smoother the better. Really taste those beautiful spices in there. So we'll come back to this in about 35 minutes and do just that. So here we are, it's 35 minutes later. In the meantime, I took some of our lovely chickpeas and I added a handful of chickpeas with a teaspoon and a half, a little squeeze of lime, a teaspoon and a half of harissa. And what I did was I just roasted those for about 20 minutes at 170. Why? Because it's a great texture. You got that smooth carrot soup, and the chickpeas are just great on top. They're Middle Eastern as well, North African. So quite a traditional way to add some texture to this soup. So we'll pop those there, and we can now go ahead and plate the soup. Now the thing about the soup is that I think because it's sweet and you've got those bold flavours in there, really delicious warming flavours, savoury, sweet, acidic flavours all fighting each other, that a smooth soup really suits this. If you think about minestrone, for example, you've got loads of different textures. It's actually quite a simple flavour, and the textures play the central role of why it's so delicious with the pasta, the chunky veg. This is quite the opposite. So big flavour, smooth texture, and I think that's a bit of a chefy note. So every chef that's ever taught me will tell me off for this. Never pour from the pan, they say, chef. I'm going to go against that because I'm good at pouring from pans. So a nice healthy portion in there. The thing about vegan food is I batch cook this at home with delicious ingredients like these carrots, and it's just an incredible way to have it in the freezer. It keeps really well. And it's just an incredible way to get some really nice, you know, you're feeling a bit down, you're getting a bit late at night. It's an incredible way to get some nutrients in you. and it's just incredible. I get really excited about this. So, first things first, let's go with some coconut yogurt. A nice big dollop of that in the centre. That's going to add some acidity. That's one of our 3 parts of acidity. Sweet carrot, sweet shallots, sweet rose harissa, big spice. So we've got a nice bit of playful acidity coming from the coconut yogurt. And then we'll go in with some nice jewels, as they call them in the Middle East. Pomegranate jewels, pomegranate seeds to you and I. And then we are going to go with some zaatar. Now you get 2 types of zaatar, Jordanian and Lebanese. One's made with oregano and one's made with lemon thyme. So this is the lemon thyme one, and it's a little bit lighter in colour, and it's just absolutely beautiful. Finish the soup with it, adds a nice little zestiness and almost slightly acidic but playful kind of lemon flavour. And then these roasted chickpeas here, just adding that lovely texture. Again, stack those up. Got loads going on. Spill them all over the worktop at the same time. Some more of the pomegranates. As you can see, you've got a beautiful smooth soup, which really requires, for me as a chef, to think about a big garnish. You know, a smooth soup needs a nice finish on it. So here we go for the final garnish. And for those of you with the soap gene out there, which I don't like talking about because I really love coriander, I've chosen not to put coriander, which just sings well with all these flavours, in the soup, but leave it as an optional. So I'm using some nice young shoots here, and again just playing with that kind of vegan vibe, which a lot of people don't know, that when a plant, before it's a plant, when it shoots as a seed, it's nutritionally most dense part of its life. So that little shoot comes through the ground to form into a big plant, a tree, a shrub. It's taking all of its energy from that seed, which we know seeds are very healthy, to come through. So we just capture them right at that moment and take those nutrients. So great kind of versatile way to use coriander when it's at its best. So as we just finish the dish here with the last little bit of olive oil, nice and grassy, very beautiful again, a little bit of citrus on the finish. Make sure you use a good extra virgin olive oil. Here you have a beautiful soup with the most beautiful ingredients for any time of the year, with any type of carrot. These, for example, have played a beautiful role today for the immune system, for a good dinner, or just for the sake of it. Go and cook yours now with County Supplies and the Market Chef. Right, Rob, you lovely fella, come over here and try this. Absolute game changer. I'll let you tuck in there. I'll talk you through it a little bit. So as I said, you've got that beautiful, beautiful, silky carrot backed up with a sweetness. And then again, why don't you dig straight in and out, get some of that coconut, the acidity from the lime, the pomegranate.
The kick we're getting, is that the harissa?
The harissa. Mild chilies, but you know, it's backed up with that cumin, paprika, coriander, and a little bit of fennel. It all adds a little bit of heat without being overwhelming. How's that?
That is a comforting soup. That is better than a cuddle on a Sunday afternoon.
Yes.
That is
I'll be hearing about that.
lovely. Chef, smashed it once again. Thanks a lot. Market Chef, County Supplies, get stuck in.